stars to be living here today. 'Cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and
All three major stock indices soared to record highs today following the news of Donald Trump's win. They started off strong as well, right out of the opening bell. Today is the Dow's best day. Look at that, up more than 1,500 points since 2022. I want to bring in Winnie Caesar, Global Head of Strategy of Credit Sites, which is part of our Hearst family here. Winnie, thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right, you just saw Wall Street up big today. Despite price hikes, most economists think the country has pretty much nailed the soft landing, and the market was already in record territory before today. So what is behind today's just huge surge?
Well, I think there are three main factors. The first is that we are now past the election. The uncertainty around who would win, what the composition of Congress would be, that always looms large when we lead into election cycles. The second is the expectation of a more business-friendly environment. First, a focus on corporate and personal tax rates and broad-based expectations that personal taxes are going to continue to stay low under a Republican-controlled administration, and that corporate tax rates could continue to move even lower than current levels. And then the final thing is a focus on business-friendly deregulation. Regulations are very expensive for companies to comply with, and deregulation is relatively easy for the executive, the president, to do kind of solo. They don't even need necessarily the backing of Congress to do so. So there are three kind of key things that we think have been really supporting the market today.
All right, so the Fed will meet tomorrow. They will likely announce another interest rate cut. Donald Trump in the past has not been shy about voicing his opinion of the Fed's moves. He wants lower interest rates, he says. If he gets more heavy-handed, is there a risk to a less independent Fed, and what could that mean for the economy?
Sure. So I think that this is something that people were concerned about heading into this election. They're not necessarily sure what type of Donald Trump we're going to get. Is it a pragmatic businessman who wants to support markets, or is it one who wants to kind of bully the Fed around, bully other institutions within the U.S. political and financial system around? Now, for right now, the Fed is still in its rate cutting cycle. It's very early inning, and we're not necessarily sure how long cutting is actually going to last. But it would not be surprising if the Fed at some point says, okay, actually, we've probably cut enough, maybe we need to hold, that you start to see that chatter on Twitter or X between the president and his followers start to increase, kind of focusing on the Fed and policy, especially if we do see the types of tariffs that were discussed during campaign time actually enacted. Those are kind of opposed things, with tariffs generally being inflationary and Donald Trump generally wanting lower interest rates.
Record highs, but you've noticed that sun angle getting lower and lower into the sky. Right now, only 31 degrees off the horizon. It continues to drop down until we get to our winter solstice. But remember the summer, when it's way up there sky high, then you expect 80-degree temperatures. Yesterday, we got it with that low sun angle and everything else. Today's highs, not as warm, but really for this time of year, almost 20 degrees above normal in many spots. 55 is where we're supposed to be this time of year, and a lot of high temperatures today, upper 60s, low 70s. Then you have this pocket here with mid 70s. Even the Cape over overperforming today and getting temperatures in the low 70s today. There's the view over the city right now. Sunset is in about 12 minutes. The air quality is good. There's that westerly wind finally settling back a little bit. And tonight will be colder than we have seen lately. And in Worcester, hard to even find a cloud right now. 60 degrees, west wind at about 12 miles per hour. So what's going to happen? Well, we've got a slow cool down as we head toward the weekend. Not a dramatic blast of cold air, just doesn't warm up as much during the afternoon as we've seen today or yesterday. I do have a chance of some showers on Monday, but it's not a great chance. And overall, we are just kind of stuck in this dry pattern. There you can see the satellite picture. We had a few clouds kind of float their way through as a frontal boundary kind of worked its way out of here. But the cooler air now starting to flow in. The record-setting temperatures, they're long gone. They've pushed out of here. So what will happen is we're going to get this cool air settling in for tomorrow. And then a new wave of cold air will come through on Friday night, adding some additional chilly weather to our weekend forecast. But even after you have two waves of cold air coming in, we're actually talking about things getting back to where they're supposed to be this time of year. And that rain chance on Monday is from this system out here. And once again, we see it looking very impressive out here on Sunday morning. But by the time it gets here, it won't have quite that punch to it. So how much rain are we talking about on Monday? Maybe a quarter of an inch if we're lucky. Depends on exactly how everything all plays out. But as of right now, not a big rainmaker. What we really need is about 3 days of several inches of rain. Not a real torrent of rain coming through, but several days where we get a nice gentle rain falling. So tonight, it's clear. It's cooler than it's been lately. 36 to 44 for your overnight low. And then tomorrow, sunny day, cooler than today, and a little on the breezy side as we saw it today, 62 to 68. So I don't think anybody's going to hit 70 tomorrow, but today we did have 70s that were out there. Speaking of tomorrow, here's what those high temperatures look like. Burlington about 64 degrees for high. Worcester should be right around 62 for high. But once you get up towards Gardner, it might even be a little bit cooler with highs in the upper 50s. Then you head to the South Shore where we had mid 70s today. Tomorrow it's kind of mid to upper 60s. So temperatures tomorrow about 10 degrees cooler than what they were today. And the Cape, you're going to be having temperatures pretty much into the 60s, a little cooler than today, where we managed to get things into the 70s. Also keeping an eye on Hurricane Rafael, a Category 2 storm. Right now, though, it is starting to make a dramatic turn down to the south. This is going to weaken its way out over the Gulf of Mexico. That is good news for everyone. We will keep an eye on that over the next few days. All right, here's the way it looks then over the next 7 days. Sunny and breezy tomorrow, 64, and then 10 degrees colder on Saturday. The coldest of this whole time period looks like it'll be on Sunday morning. And then Sunday still has plenty of dry weather, some sunshine. Late Sunday night, we might start to see some showers coming in here. And right now, I would say on Monday, the best chance for rain will be during the morning, the first half of the day. After that, we clear things off. Temperatures pretty close to average for this time of year, which is generally in the low to mid 50s. So kind of a normal forecast coming in as we get rid of the record highs and even the mild temperatures we had today.